Part 3. I just want to say, if you've gotten this far into watching my video, part 1, part 2, thank you so much. Really, just thank you. There's really nothing else to say, to be honest. I'm gonna try to get everything in this video, just because I don't want to drag this out. You can always replay it back if you need some kind of uplifting in a way. It's my pain, but it's just like knowing that you're not alone. It's comforting, you know what I'm saying? Not that somebody's going through has gone through that particular trauma or is going through that pain or whatever, but just knowing this is the reason I'm doing this. This is why I started this channel, is to help others heal. Yeah, really, just that. So this video, so just a little end part to part 2. Basically, if I didn't do it her way, it was an issue. So that's what I talk about, being under my mother's spell, and I broke free from that. She no longer has control over me, and I'm not just talking about, okay, yeah, obviously, if I was living in with my parents, their rules, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about even into adulthood. Her not having control over my life, and seeing how I'm flourishing and I'm thriving and I'm overcoming these things that I've gone through. Like, everything that I have gone through in my life, she was not present. She was not there. She was not a comforting factor. I could not go to her for things. I could not talk to her about things. And this is the reason why I'm saying these things now, as she watches these videos, because she will. It's gonna be like, wait, what? When you felt like this? Is because I just never could talk to her, and I still can't. So that's that. And growing up, it's like whatever my mom's, it went. And I had to forgive my dad for that, and may he rest in peace. I miss him so much. Like where I needed my dad to step in and be the man, like I just kind of felt like he couldn't. You know, almost like he was under her spell, or he was just tired. I don't really know, and I'll never know. She didn't let my dad be the man that he probably wanted to be. That much I do know. And I've seen this since I was younger. I watched this. So again, yeah, people, will say like, oh, my parents were married. So what? I used to think that was something like, so what? People are so miserable in their marriages. And what I seen, with my parents growing up, yeah, okay, they were married, but I don't want none of what they had. And I'm divorced. And that's a whole nother video that we're not even going to talk about right now. And I still don't want none of what they had. So this part is, I moved out of my parents' house. And like about 2 years after that, I had got married. This is one of the things that broke me, and it still hurts. Hopefully I don't choke up again. I got married, and it took me almost like 2 years, really. And I always wanted to be married. Again, that's what was sold to us back then. I'm an 80s baby, so it was, the fairy tale, white picket fence and the family and stuff like that. I always wanted a family. I always wanted to have a whole bunch of kids and this great husband, and right off into the fucking sunset. Yeah, that is about the dumbest thing. Let me tell you, if you think like that in 2025, I'm going to need you to reevaluate your entire life, okay? And I mean that with my whole heart. I'm trying to tell you, because it is a setup for disaster if you don't listen to what I'm telling you. Yeah, so I had got married. Prior to me getting married, bringing it back to my mother. My ex-husband, we knew each other, and growing up, our families knew each other. Whatever. It's a long story. I can't even make short. But my mother decided. This is what she told me. She decided to move him in the house, and this is the thing that is very triggering. And as I gotten older, and I started to look into my childhood, she decided to let my ex-husband, at the time we were just friends, and I was pregnant with my second child, um, and this is her reason. She decided to move. This is a man. You decided to move a man, and even though like our families knew each other, she knew his mom, they went to school together, whatever. You let him move in. You let a man move in. My dad, again, remember from the other videos, my dad is in the cut chilling. And remember what I've been saying, what she said went. I know my dad was so perturbed, and he did not want this for his daughter. I know he didn't. Because when it came to boys, his like, what? If you don't get, like, he turned into a whole other person. So long story short on this, my ex-husband, he moved in there. At the time, again, we were just friends. And my mother's reasoning was, she says to me, I saw how down and depressing you were. There's another thing I'm going to say on this. She said, I saw how down and depressed you were. So I thought moving him in would make you happy. As a mother, that's what you thought? You thought providing me with a man was going to make me happy? Okay. One of the other things is too, prior to me going to therapy when I was a teen, this is out of my mother's mouth. She says, I knew you needed therapy. I just never took you. So you saw the signs that your daughter was struggling with some things. You couldn't pinpoint what it was. You probably didn't even care. And you chose, that's neglect. You chose not to get your daughter some help, but you thought providing her with the P now was going to fix everything. So now all she has done is look for love in men most of her life. All right. So I moved out of my parents' house, and I was talking about marriage. I always wanted to be married. I don't know why I was so focused and fixated on being married. I don't know why. I no longer give a shit, to be honest. Um, But in that time, that's what it was. So we were talking about that before I moved out of the house. And she wanted us to get married in a specific location. It was her idea. And I chose to go against that. Again, it's my wedding. I did not want to get married where she wanted me to get married. At first, it sounded like, oh, okay. But as I came around to it, no, that's just not what I wanted. It didn't seem romantic to me. It wasn't what I envisioned for myself, and I didn't want that. That bothered her because she no longer had control. Brought my daughter a dress. I never asked for the dress. The color was like, and everything. I sent the dress back to her. That bothered her. Like, you're doing a lot. She did a lot, and was triggered because, again, I had my own mind, and I just wasn't letting her just do whatever. Again, I'm taking control from her, and I was doing that back then. She didn't like that. So, long story short on this, I got married, and one of the things she doesn't know, she sent my brother to be you know, the eyes and the ears, and he video recorded my entire wedding. just so he can take it back and show my parents, right? What she doesn't know, and she's about to find out right now, is that even though I'm divorced, and I thank God that I'm divorced, because that's a whole nother story, and there'll be a video for that. But even though I'm divorced, it took me about 2 years to plan the wedding, and I did it. I had help. I had a lot of great help, and shout out to everyone who's ever helped me to prepare for that wedding. Thank you for them in that time, because I was just I was ecstatic about getting married. But the wedding dress that I found when I went to go get it, it was $450. It was the color that I was looking for. It was like an off-white. It was the last dress on the rack in my size. You cannot tell me it wasn't for me. It was absolutely stunning. It was off-white, and if I can remember, kind of came off the shoulders a little bit or something like that. It's been so long. And had this big bow in the back, and the bow was like a long train. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I found it. She wasn't there. She wasn't there for the things that a mother is supposed to be there for, her daughter. And she wasn't there is because she got an attitude. This is what she likes to do. She gets an attitude when things don't go her way. So now we don't want to talk to the daughter anymore. We're done. We disown you. We block you. You're not a factor. It's like, fuck you and Godspeed. That's what I've grown up with. That's what traveled from my childhood into my adulthood. And Sasha said, I'm all done having fucks to give about this last year, 2024, and this is where we are. Cool. And I love that for me. Um, so what she doesn't know was that prior to my wedding, and I'm choking up as I'm saying this, I had sent my dad messages. She took my dad from me. So I was sending him messages and letting him know about, it was like the rehearsal dinner party, to practice for him to be there to walk me down the aisle. And my mother was so much in my dad's head and his ear, right? Because she was so mad that she didn't have control over my wedding and me. And really just so much over me. That my dad started getting bitter and having, not good things to say towards me, whatever. And I was like, wait, what? Now I got both parents against me? Like, what is going on? I don't need this right now. What did I do so wrong? I've been trying to figure it out for years. Like, what did I do so wrong? Why do I get this? I was the black sheep. I was the one that was disowned and like just talked about all the time. I was talked about. I'm still being talked about. Like, that's what they do. They wake up, they grab coffee, and let's talk about Sasha. Like, that's just what it is. So anyway, right? I'm telling my dad, like, this is the time, the date, or whatever, or the location where it's going to be at, and I'm letting him know. And I can't remember verbatim what my dad said to me, but I know it was triggered from my mom. I know my mom was behind it, okay? And I know this is because she took my dad from me. Like, he was sneaking to have conversations with me, okay? So back to the wedding. What she doesn't know, and what she doesn't know, what my brother didn't get on the videotape, was his sister waiting, because I got married in a chapel, and it was off by the water, and there was a beach. Like, I always wanted to get married on a beach. What he didn't get in that video was her daughter. He didn't get the clip of me waiting on the stairs. I held up my wedding ceremony waiting for you and daddy to show up at my wedding, and y'all didn't show up. You took my dad from me. You didn't let daddy. My dad didn't want me down the aisle because of you, and you got a nerve. This is what she would say, like, oh, well, you hurt your dad. This is my mother saying this to me. You hurt your dad by what you did, like him not being able to walk you down the aisle. Like, wait, what? And I just let her be. I never said anything to her until right now. Now, you did that. You did that. because my dad was still talking to me and everything. As you were talking down about me, degrading me, and just saying all the foul things that you were saying to me, about me, to my dad, you took that from me. I waited on the stairs in my beautiful dress, all spread out. It was a cascading stairwell, and I was waiting there, and I was having high hopes no matter how much I knew my mom couldn't stand me, no matter how much I knew that she's done to me prior to. I just needed my parents there. And you took that from me. You took that from me, and I'll never forgive you for it. I'll never forgive you for that. It's going to take God Himself to come down and say, Sasha, forgive her. They never showed up. They never showed up to my wedding. I'm telling you, I don't care. Oh, I don't care what I go through with any of my kids. I'm telling you, I would have been in the bushes with a gift or whatever. I'd have been waiting until the set, whatever. Oh, I don't want my mom there. I don't care. I'd have been in the cut waiting to just try to have one word or something. I'd have been there. And you took that from me. You took my dad walking down the aisle from me. And I won't forgive you for that. And it don't make it better that he's not here no more. Hold up. Excuse me. I held my wedding service up. I held it up, waiting for my parents to show up at my wedding, and they never showed up. My wedding was filled with mostly my coworkers that I work with in my when I was doing medical billing. I had some family there, and it's only because I reached out to them. Family that my mother cut off, that's a whole other thing. I come from a lot of the generational curses over my family is out of this world. But I am the generational curse breaker. So shout out to my ex-father-in-law. It was hard for me to do that, but he said, if you want, and I know this is hard, he was very gentle and kind in offering me that the way he said it and everything, and he walked me down the aisle. But I just really needed my dad, and I know I don't care. You can't tell me otherwise. I know my dad wanted to be there, and he was not there because of you. What are the other things? Excuse me. My grandmother passed away, her mother, and I was pregnant at the time. I was pregnant, one of those babies. I ended up losing that baby I was pregnant with, and I was working in the office at the time. I didn't have a car. I was taking cabs and buses and whatever, and I was married at that time. I believe I was married at that time. Yes, I was. Yep. And my mom kept blowing. I was at work, and she kept blowing my phone up. You need to get to the hospital. Your grandmother's in the hospital. Da da da. And well, let me just say this: my grandmother, my mother's mother, may her soul rest in peace. Because I never speak ill of the dead. I'm not that person. I don't. I felt like she hated me. She didn't like me. And my mother would tell me, even after she passed, she would tell me, um, that, oh, your grandmother didn't like you because she saw herself in you, something like that, to that effect, my mother would say. And as my mother said that to me, it was never no comfort, like, I don't know, it was never like, Sasha, she may have said that, but don't you make that, comfort. It was no comfort. Like, I don't know why she would say that, but I don't know what that means. But you are a great daughter. You are a great woman. You are a great mother. Or it was. I never got none of that. My mom just ate that up. She loved that her mother couldn't stand me, just like she can't stand me. So let me go back to this. So she was rushing me, and I'm like, Mom, like, first of all, I was like big as a whatever, and I'm pregnant. Um, and that's another factor. I probably lost that baby too because I was under so much stress, looking for my mother's love and my family to love me, and when my mom disowned me, I didn't have my dad, so I lost everybody. That's how it would always be. Just like it is right now. My brother don't talk to me because of my mom. Like, that's what it is. I'm only talking to my sisters because I'm the one who did the work to go find my sister. That's always what it is. It's just me. And I don't wish this on nobody. But anyway, so I finally get to the hospital. I think I had to take a cab or whatever because I had to go pick one of the babies up or whatever. It was at daycare or something like that. It was and it's a mom on my way. I'm on my way. Now, mind you, during this time, again, she's not talking to me for whatever. And most of the reasons were so dumb. She's always mad about something. She was always, and she still is always mad about something that literally could be adult. Okay, I'm mad. You did A, B, and C. Let's talk about it. Take time, breathe about it, and then come back to it. I never got that. I do that with my children, and I do my best on that, is because I had to learn that for myself. But that's nothing. I was never taught that. I never, like, I was literally, it's just fucking abuse is what the fuck this is. Okay. And so in this time, she's like, hurry, we get to the hospital. So I finally get there, and the only thing I remember is this long ass hallway in the hospital. And I'm walking down, and my dad comes out of this door. The room was at the end of the hallway. My dad comes out the door, and he just he tilts his head, and he said, "She's gone." And I understand at the time my grandmother, she was on life support, and I understand, for families when they're grieving a loss, and the families, the person's in the hospital and they're on life support or something like that. Like, I understand that, it makes us feel better, the family members. It makes us feel better, that, in the grieving process, we already know that they're dead. They're not there anymore. They're a vegetable, as long as they're plugged in, we know we have, it's like they're still alive, but it's a mind thing, right? And my mother couldn't even wait. She couldn't even wait to just let me get there so I could be at peace and say my farewell to my grandmother. You know how she treated me. You know how I felt, like how she was towards me. And you took that from me too. She didn't have to pull the plug. So then I walk into the room, and she's she cut a piece of my grandmother's hair off. Like weird shit. Anyway, weird shit. You were shitty to your mother. I watched my mother be shitty to her mother. I watched you throw things at your mother, and you sitting there acting like you was the best daughter. You never took the time to fix your childhood trauma. You never took the time. My mom done been through a lot of things based on whatever she said. And the things that she did tell me, it was nothing good. But that was for you to heal, and you never did that. You never did what I'm doing right now for myself. And you fucked up my life in that way. And now I'm only better is because I'm the one putting in the work. And right now, I don't got no forgiveness. My dad walked out of the room and he's just like, she's gone. I was daddy's little girl. And now he's going too. I miss my dad is because one thing about my pops, like, even if I did wrong, like, you wrong for that. He listened to me. He listened. He let me talk. He didn't put his hands on me. My dad probably hit me one time growing up. The other time, like when I first got pregnant, and he yoked me up by my shirt. He just was disappointed, like his daughter, his baby. And I understand it now because I'm a mother. I didn't understand it then. But when I walked into the hospital, my dad had to look like he felt bad. He felt bad. He felt bad for me. He had empathy in his face and in his mannerisms. Like, I'm sorry, and there was nothing that he could do because that's her mother. And I don't know the conversations that were had or anything. I just know that I know this. I'm gonna say my affirmation again. As I cry, it's a release. It's healthy and I'm healing. Hold on. This affirmation it just came to me the other day and I was like, oh, that's so fucking fire. As I cry, it's a release. It's healthy and I'm healing. Okay, so use it. Um yeah, that affected me and I had to get that. I've been holding that in for years. I think my grandmother passed. I got married in 2010, and I think my grandmother passed probably 2 years. I don't remember the exact year. Maybe a year or two after. hmm Um, so just a recap, we are speaking on pivotal things that affected me since my childhood and into my adulthood, and now we are almost towards the end. Um, so next, I moved to Virginia. I upped and left. After some years, I upped and left, and I basically did the same thing my sister did years ago because I just had enough. I tried to hold on to my relationship with my dad, and I couldn't because he was around my mother. Same thing, like I said, with my brother. I just can't. I can't fight that fight anymore, and I'm just. It's not my fight, and I'm done. And I love that for me. Uh, I moved to Virginia. I upped and left. I packed up the whole house, took my kids. At the time, I was uh, married, and I have 4 children. If y'all don't know, and I had a cat at the time. um, and so this is a story. That's a long story, and I'm gonna condense it. So prior to me moving to Virginia, I had took my parents to um, a doctor's appointment for, I guess both of them was going for, I'm not sure. They both had the same doctor or in the same facility, if I can remember correctly. But I know my dad was going to an appointment, and I said to my mother, I said to both of them really, they were standing there. I said, Daddy, are you okay? Like, what's wrong, with Daddy? Is Daddy okay? Like, he's losing weight now. My dad was already a slim dude. He wasn't anorexic or anything like that. He was already slim, but the weight. I know my dad, what my dad looks like. I know my dad, and he was losing weight. The belt was getting tighter. He was trying to hold his pants up. He was losing weight, and it's just, I know something was up. So I was asking questions. My dad stood there. I don't recall him saying anything. I don't believe he said anything. But my mother, she, per usual, she always got something to say. So she said, she lied to me. She was like, no, no, he's okay. We're just going to an appointment or blah, blah, blah. And something else she said. But she lied to me. I knew the whole time. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what it was. I knew something was up. And so, meanwhile, as I'm having this conversation, they don't know that I was already planning to move. I was already planning to move is because I'm taking my parents to go to an appointment, but I was people pleasing. I was pleasing. I was trying to get them to love me. I was trying to have, whatever relationship or whatever kind of bond or anything I can get with my mother, and to be around my family. I did whatever. I did this for years. And last year I just said I had enough. So I upped and moved to Virginia, and probably like a month in me moving to Virginia, I get a message on my Facebook from my cousin, and she goes, Sasha, reach out to, your dad's in the hospital. Reach out to your mom, your dad's in the hospital. And I was a mess. I broke down. At the time I was married, and I kept telling my ex-husband, I said, I'm not going to be okay. I'm not going to be okay if something happens to my father. I'm telling you this right now. I said that already. I said that already before I even got the call, before I even moved to Virginia. I said, something's up with my dad. I said, I'm telling you right now. I kept saying it. I kept saying it to him. I said, I'm not going to be okay if something happens to my father. I'm telling you that right now. And I kept repeating it, and I just knew. And so I was homeless when I was living in Virginia. That's a whole nother story for another video. But um, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money. Um, and at the time I had my CDL license. I was driving school buses, but I had to do another endorsement out there. And I just wasn't trying to do that. So, again, that's another video. So it wasn't like, oh, I just moved out. I didn't have my shit together. No, I had my shit together. It just, anyway, so I needed to get back to, and now, mind you, my parents didn't know that. They didn't know. Nobody knew that I was up and leaving to Virginia. So I knew my dad was upset with me. I knew she was already upset per usual. And my phone's on 10%. I'm gonna try to get through this real quick. Probably have to just do a part 4. Um, yeah, so I knew they were upset. My mother did not want to pay for me to get back to where I grew up at, in the state I grew up at. And my dad, because what she told me, she's like, my mother said this to me. I don't know what kind of mother would say this, but my mother said this to me. She said, the only reason why you came up here is because your dad told me to make sure get my daughter up here now. She didn't even want me. Like, my dad is on his deathbed. And that's not my stepdad or nothing. Like, and even if it wasn't or whatever, no, that's my biological father. And she didn't even want me to be there during that time. That's how much she was jealous. So she always, when I was younger, she would say, Daddy's little girl, just like this, Daddy's little girl. And I didn't care. I knew my dad was going to be upset with me, but I didn't care about none of that. So she put the money up, whatever, pay for my ticket so I can get back out there with my kids. And, it was very challenging for me. It was very hard. I didn't have nobody while I was going through this. Nobody. I felt everybody was against me. When I walked in, basically, to a lot of family from out of town, from New York and stuff like that, and most of them, had like the face like, why? I've never done anything to these people, but why do they? Because my mom was running her mouth about me recklessly for years, and even and was doing it during this time, right? So my dad was in the hospital when I finally got out there in another state from where we reside, and I walked into the room, and this is what the conversation my mother was having with a nurse, a complete stranger, simply saying, "Oh, speaking of the devil, my dad's laying in the bed, he's sick, and this is what she said as I walked into the room." So I'm looking at my dad, and he had this face on, like he was so upset with me. But we had that conversation prior to him passing, and he said, "I'm not upset that you left." He said to me, as I love my dad so much, he said, "I'm not upset that you left. I just wish you would have said something." And I apologized to him. I said, "Daddy, I'm sorry. I just couldn't talk to you because, Ma gets in the way. Then, she blocked my number from your phone." And so like, yeah, my mother blocked my number from my dad's phone. Like she's that type of, I'm not gonna give her no title, but yeah. And he's like, "But I understand." And just so loving and so understanding and empathetic, my dad. A conversation was had prior to my dad's passing, um, and it was in regards to my ex-husband at the time, something with money or whatever, and I was sticking up for my ex-husband or whatever. And my mother, this is a long story, I'm gonna try to make this short, but my mother basically didn't like the fact that I was standing up for him, which is so weird. I'm legally married. Like, I'm a grown woman. I have my children, and I'm just telling you. And I wasn't disrespectful. I was respectful, but I was letting her know what it was. You're not going to talk to me whatever kind of way. And, yeah, okay. So I said what I said to her. And this lady, I'll never forget it. My dad was in the bathroom. Mind you, my dad is sick. Like, he had cancer and amongst a whole bunch of other things. My dad was 51. And he's in the bathroom, and my mom just like, now we're going back and forth, and now it's an argument. Like, she don't want to hear what I'm saying. So I was like, this is crazy. And this lady like leaped. She got up off the couch, and it was like what? Like, what you say? And started wailing on me, swinging on me. I'm a grown woman at this point. I can't remember exactly how old I was. It was in 2014, so you do the math. As a grown woman, married with children, and I was not being disrespectful to my mother, because that was her thing. It's like, "Oh, you're being disrespectful." Every time I would speak up for myself, it was like, "Oh, you're being disrespectful." Like, "Oh, you need to bring your tone down." I'm not anything. And when I would get to that point, I'm like, I'm obviously this is built up. You never let me talk. You never let me be myself. You never even listen. So she was, listen, you are lucky. You are lucky. And the only reason that I did not lock my mother up for putting paws on me again, our favorite thing to do, is because my dad was sick. And I knew she was caring for my dad. She was his caregiver. And I wasn't, it was about my dad. That's the only reason why I did not lock her ass up. So my dad comes out the bathroom. I'll never forget his face. And he was already frail and having a hard time walking. And he just was like, I promise you, my dad was like, "I'm not doing this shit no more." 2 days later, he was gone. And my whole thing is like, she never thought about my dad's situation. Never thought, let me listen to my daughter. Let me try to understand. Let me actually be a mother for real for once. A good mother, you know? You lied to me about daddy being sick, and I'll never forgive you for that. Blocking my number from daddy's phone when I'm texting him and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get through prior to me moving. Even during the time when I was getting married, I'll never forgive you for that. Like I said, God himself is going to have to come down and tell me, you need to forgive your mother. I'm not there. I'm not there. Still to this day, you have not even given me any of daddy's ashes. Let's go back. When my dad passed, one of her friends, my mother, normally the first people in the family are sitting in the front. And my mom sat across the way on the side. I'm sitting in the front and my dad's casket is there. And I could hear it so clearly. And one of her people said, "You're not going to sit over there with your daughter?" We're definitely going to have to put this in a part 4. So then she gets up and she comes over to me. And the only thing she could do was just be so fucking fake and say, stop. She said, "Stop crying. Stop crying. You know your dad don't want you to be crying. Stop crying." And she don't know, but now you do. Like, it was cringing me like so much that you was even there. I didn't want you to even say nothing to me because you really could have just stayed across the way. You didn't put your daughter, you didn't put your oldest daughter in daddy's obituary. What the fuck type shit is that? Because you're so bitter. You're so angry. He may not have been her biological father, but he took care of her, never called her stepdaughter. He was there for her since day one and raised her like his own and was a damn good father. And you got a nerve to not put your daughter in the obituary for her father? And yeah, she should have been there, but she wasn't. But that's for her to deal with. But you didn't put, as the mother, you didn't make sure that you purposely took her out of there. You didn't put me in the slideshow at the funeral service. You didn't put me in the slideshow or none of the pictures? Wait, what? How are you not gonna put, because you're so jealous of the relationship that I have with my father, you didn't put me in the pictures of the slideshow? You didn't even want to sit next to me before daddy's casket? What kind of mother does that? Until this day, we are on April 6th, 2020, motherfucking 5. You have yet to give me some of daddy's ashes. I asked you for one fucking thing. One fucking thing that I could have from daddy. And you have yet to give it to me. You gave me a pitch. You gave me everything else but what the fuck I asked for. And see, now I'm cursing is because this is the anger. And I won't ever forgive you for that. You took my father from me. You took my father from me. What mother talks down on her daughter to the entire fucking family? I walk in the house and everybody looking at me sideways. All of them. All of y'all gonna get y'all karma. Because God sees and hears everything I'm trying to tell you. And he don't play about me. Mm-hmm. You took my father from me, and I'll never forgive you for that. Yep. You asked me before, I always felt like one time it was a conversation and she was like, "Oh, I felt like you always wanted it to be me instead of daddy." And I stood quiet. Even in that time when I couldn't stand you so much and I used to say I hate you, but I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I don't hate you. I love you because you're my mother, and I'm never gonna have the evil, vindictive, and bitter and angry heart that you have. This pain that I have, this anger that I have, is for a reason, and it's because of you. And this is the trauma that you bestowed on me, and this is just how I fucking feel. And I'm getting this shit out, and it needs to be fucking said. And I don't give a shit how you feel about it. When you asked me that question, if you know, you wanted it, if I wanted it to be you instead of daddy, and I stood quiet. I gave you that respect that you didn't even motherfucking deserve. Even when you asked me that question, I gave you that respect, and I spared your motherfucking feelings as you never spared my feelings. Oh, if I say this, if I talk reckless about Sasha and I go telling her business or this, that, and the third or whatever, just to make me feel better about myself in whatever, how would she feel? I spared your feelings and I didn't say nothing to you. But the answer, listen, these videos will already tell you the answer. You took my father from me and I'll never forgive you. What kind of sick, twisted person would sit there and block the daughter from talking to her father? You made my dad miss my wedding. I don't give a fuck if I'm divorced and the wedding, and then you got a nerve to sit there and tell me that, oh, my mother really sat there and said that your wedding is void and it'll never be nothing. What fucking mother does that? You can't be fucking serious. Why? Because your marriage was shit? There's a lot of things I know and I've been keeping real quiet. You still to this day have not gave me some of my dad's ashes. And I'm going to let you hold that though. Because let me tell you something. I released you. God isn't dealing with you now. I'm trying to tell you. God hears and sees everything. I don't know why people keep fucking with me and thinking that you're getting away with you. No one's getting away with anything. You fuck around and you're gonna find the fuck out, and that's just what it is. You're so bitter. You're so angry. You didn't think it was important enough that I have my dad's ashes. You didn't even want to console me. You didn't console me. I grieve my father. I still grieve my father by my motherfucking self. You ain't never fucking been there for me. And I don't forgive you. As I cry, it's a release. It's healthy and I'm healing. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get off of this because my phone's about to die. I don't even know if I want to do a part 4. I'm good. But I needed to get this out. And since y'all like to watch me so much, Ma, since you like to watch me so much, there you go. And there's so much more that I could say. I don't even care about that right now. I got out the most important things I needed to say. I hope and pray that anyone who's going through this or who's been through some kind of situation like this, parent or whatever, that you find some kind of solace in these videos and on my channel to help you get through these times. You know that crying is not a weak thing. You have to cry about it. You got to cry about it to release it. But the point is you need to heal. You need to heal those things that are hurting you. And right now, this is my healing. I'm going to be healing until the day I die. I already know that. But as far as this goes, but like I said, it's going to take God himself to come down and be like, you need to forgive your mom. I don't want nobody, please don't get up in my comments saying you need to forgive. Don't do it because I'll block you. I'm telling you right now, don't ever tell somebody about their trauma and their pain. You could, because I'm letting you know that I don't need no advice. I'm not looking for advice. I'm sharing my story to help others and to release this and get this pain out for myself. And I'm also letting my mom know what it is, since I know that she watches me so heavily because she's so bothered by my growth and how all the things and the things that she's doing behind my back and talking about me and this, that, and the third, thinking that I don't know, that people are coming to me and saying this, that, and the third, that, oh, your mom said this, whatever. If you think I don't know, I've been new. I just be quiet. I'm quiet. I've been quiet, but I'm not quiet anymore. You're not hurting me. You're hurting yourself. Look at your life. Look at your health. You're hurting yourself. Stop being like that. God does not bless mess. And with that being said, I'm good. I'm good on it. I'm good. I'm good. You lost another daughter, and that's just what it is. And continuing to keep watching me is self-sabotage. And this goes for my exes. This goes for anybody who wait, there's more videos to come. Y'all not off the hook. I got y'all too. Because y'all all try to silence me for the longest time. Y'all all wanted to see me dead. Y'all all wanted to see me down. Y'all all wanted to see me like, oh, look at her. Oh, she's doing good now. We got to stop that. Do. Just throwing fiery dots my way. Cool. That's what y'all thought y'all ate with that. Y'all didn't eat nothing. God don't play about me. I'm trying to tell you, you need to quit while you ahead. I'm telling you right now. And people like, oh, if you're in your thoughts like, oh, she probably put some spell on me. Nah, you're the spell. Thank you all for supporting my channel and the message and everything that I'm doing. Again, it's my trauma, it's my pain, and everything that I'm saying. Like I said in part one, it's not me bashing my mother. I have to get this out. And most of the things I said in this video, she don't even know, but now she knows because I know she's watching. Please like the video, share it to somebody who, may be able to gain something from it, like an inspiration, encouragement. Like, you're not the only one who's going through something like this. When you like the video, it helps my content get into the eyes that need to see this type of content for them the most, so please definitely like the videos. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, turn your notifications on, so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank y'all so much. God bless you. Stay safe, peace, love, and many blessings. Take care.